Some animals don't come from fairy tales. They don't arrive in pristine condition, with symmetrical faces and perfect health. Some arrive with scars, visible or not, that tell the story of everything they've survived. This is the story of one such cat. Her name was Quasi. Quasi was born with a cleft lip type disfigurement, a condition that made her face look a little different. Unique, some would say. Her palate had been sealed, so she didn't suffer pain or discomfort, just a tendency to get a little extra boogery. In fact, she had a particular talent for launching full-on sneezing fits. Right into her mum's face, especially in the morning. It was her preferred wake-up method. No one really knows where Quasi came from. She was picked up by a shelter in Maryland, her past a mystery. A vet later confirmed that she had likely had a litter of kittens at some point, which meant her journey to the shelter had likely been long and hard. But none of that mattered the moment her photo was posted online. Because somewhere, a woman saw her face, that wonderfully different, boogery little face, and knew instantly this was her cat. Out of all the cats in all the shelters, it was Quasi she chose, not because she was perfect, but because she wasn't. She didn't want Quasi to wait in a cage, passed over again and again just because she looked different. She wanted to give her the love and safety she'd always deserved. But love, especially for a cat with a past, takes time. For the first 2 weeks in her new home, Quasi hid under the bed. She was scared, unsure, and not ready to trust. Over the next 6 months, she gradually tiptoed through the tiny one-bedroom apartment, learning that shadows didn't always mean danger, and voices could be kind. It was slow, patient work, but every small step was a victory. Eventually, she sat next to her mom on the couch, unless, of course, her mom sneezed, coughed, or so much as shifted her leg. Then it was right back under the bed. It wasn't until almost a full year later that Quasi finally climbed into her mum's lap, and when she did, she stayed. Her favourite place to sleep became wedged under her mum's chin, as close as she could possibly get, breathing in her scent, feeling her heartbeat, and finally, knowing what it meant to be safe. Quasi's life wasn't flashy. She didn't crave the spotlight. In fact, despite her very vocal appearance, she couldn't even meow. She'd open her mouth wide as if to speak, but not a single sound came out. That didn't stop her from trying. She wasn't picky about food. Canned food. Nope, not interested. But give her a fuzzy toy with a bell and she was in heaven. Other cats? Totally unbothered. She didn't start drama. She existed in quiet contentment, loving her chin scratches, her kibble, and the ever-growing bond with the woman who had chosen her. Quasi moved several times with her mum. She was there for weddings, for children being born, for every milestone and late-night cuddle. She lived a long, full life, around 12 beautiful years, filled with all the things that matter most to a cat. Love, safety, soft blankets, and a human who saw her as perfect, just as she was. When she finally got sick, her family did everything they could. Every vet visit, every treatment, all done with one purpose, to give her more time filled with comfort and love. And when her time came, she passed gently, in her mum's arms. The same arms that had once reached under a bed and said, "It's okay, you're safe now." She went by many names: Quasi, Quaz, Quazadoodle, Booger, Boogs, and of course, her internet-famous moniker, Ugly Kitty. A title worn with ironic pride because anyone who knew her knew the truth. She was one of the most beautiful souls in the world. Since Quasi's passing, her family has kept her memory alive, sharing her photos and her story with the world. Not just because they miss her, though they do terribly, but because they hope someone out there will see her face and feel what her mum once felt. That spark of connection, that desire to love the unloved, that belief that every life matters. Quasi's story isn't just about a cat with a unique face. It's about what happens when you open your heart to someone who's been overlooked. It's about the power of slow healing, quiet love, and the beauty of being seen for who you truly are. So if you're ever scrolling through adoption photos and you spot a cat with one eye, a wonky ear, a strange meow, or no meow at all, don't scroll past. Take a second look. Because sometimes the ones who've been through the most have the most love to give. If Quasi's story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've ever adopted a less adoptable animal, we'd love to hear your story in the comments, because love isn't about perfection, it's about connection, and every soul deserves a chance to be loved.